All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to another Mindcrime After Dark. I hope you guys are having a wonderful night so far. I had a request for another one. A lot of requests coming through lately. This has been really fun for me. This one is by the NBA GOAT, and the video is titled "The Forgotten Stretch When Michael Jordan Played Point Guard." And yes, I've been meaning to cover this. So I'm excited to do this because all those narratives about Michael Jordan, you know, he was just a shooter and nothing else, man, they are so misunderstood. And if this video catches their eyes, hopefully they're actually paying attention and watching and not messing around on their phone, because this would just debunk all of it. I'm assuming, at least. But yeah, I mean, if NBA GOAT just even covers the stats, it's game over for that argument. But anyways, as always, I'm going to leave the link to the original video down below in the description. And so you can watch it without my commentary if you want. Everybody else, please leave this video a like. That way it gets pushed out to all of these MJ haters. And we can settle the score once and for all. All right, everybody, let's do this.
Welcome. So many people beat up Michael Jordan for not being as great at passing and facilitating as LeBron. Well, in this video, you will have some proof, a very strong proof, that MJ was probably even much better at that part of the game, but that was actually never the part that was most needed from him to win. Make sure to watch to the end, as I will have a suggestion for you on getting some very rare views on Michael Jordan from the old school Detroit Piston bad boys. Let's go. In the debate,
I mean, not only was he a better passer, but he also got way less turnovers.
For the NBA GOAT, the biggest and I think the only knock, which is also unfounded, on MJ is that he wasn't capable to be as great a facilitator that LeBron and Magic, for example, were.
Hell yeah, he was.
Most of Magic and LeBron's time on the court was and is spent as point guards or point forwards, controlling the ball and running the offense. The stat that never reaches up to LeBron and Magic and other facilitators is in assists. Well, this video will destroy that whole narrative and prove that when put in a position to play as the point guard, even on a not very talented team, MJ was a spectacular facilitating beast.
Do you guys remember MJ and Shaq being on an all-star team together? Do you remember the two-man game that they played? When Jordan has somebody good to feed, he will feed them. It was just his Bulls teams didn't really have that dude. Scottie Pippen, not a great shooter. Let's talk to second era. So, like, Scottie Pippen, not a great shooter. Ron Harper, reasonable shooter. Luke Longley down low. Good luck. Dennis Rodman, not a shooter. What's Michael Jordan's job? Put up points in that situation. But if you surrounded him with a bunch of players who could score a lot of points, you know, he would probably do like the same stance Kobe had in the Olympics on the Redeem Team, where he had the attitude of, okay, we have enough offense here. Let me shut down the best player on the opposing team, you know, because he's a great defender as well. So, yeah, I see Michael Jordan as just a dude who was willing to do what it took to get the job done. And his teams always lacked in scoring. So he had to step up. He had to step up and do it.
If MJ actually would have played point guard his whole career, he could have been the greatest point guard in history as well as the greatest player of all time.
I think so.
At the end of the 1988-89 season, Michael Jordan was very displeased by the lack of help on offense from any of his teammates. He already had Scottie Pippen, but he was a second-year player and he was averaging only 14.4 points per game and a measly 3.5 assists. That was the second highest scorer on the Bulls team after MJ, who was averaging 32.5 points per game and 8 assists for that season.
Jesus.
After injuring his groin
what a load he had to weigh.
and missing a game, MJ came back and had a meeting with the team and his coach, Doug Collins. The meeting lasted about 2 hours and the decision was made to put MJ in as the point guard for the remaining 24 games of that season. There was a big misunderstanding around the NBA fan base that MJ played only 11 games as point guard that season and had 10 triple-doubles.
Yeah, they only cover that 11-game stretch, but it did last longer.
That is untrue, because he played 24 games as point guard and had 12 triple-doubles in that stretch. Here is how the whole stretch came to be.
So wait, was that 22 games? 12 for 22? Triple-double? Shit.
The whole thing with MJ, the point guard, started on March 11th against the Seattle Supersonics. The Bulls had 24 games remaining in the NBA season. The Sonics that year were a pretty good team and finished the season with a 47-35 record. MJ's first game at the point guard was amazing.
Okay, before we get into this, and then I'm going to shut up for a while, the only thing I want to establish before we get into these stats is understand what assists were back then versus what they are now. Nowadays, you can pass the ball to somebody, they can take 3 dribbles, couple steps, and make a shot, and it's still an assist. That did not fly back then, okay? In the 80s, you had to feed the guy, and they had to immediately shoot the ball. You know, so like you can get them the ball while they're driving to the basket, feed them, they could take a step in and lay it up. Or you feed a shooter, he's got to be set. He's got to be set and pop. So assists were 10 times harder to come by back then. So just keep that in mind when you see assist numbers here.
Amazing. He focused on making everyone around him better. He scored 18 points while shooting 61% from the field.
Sick.
And dished out 15 assists and grabbed 8 rebounds while beating the Sonics.
Unbelievable.
That was just the beginning for MJ, and he was learning on the fly.
Yep.
His basketball IQ was so high that everyone that knew and played against him, including his trainer Tim Grover, said that MJ could recall every single second of a past game, where everyone was, what was happening at every time, and what the score was. He was a true magician. MJ sucked up the knowledge so fast and used his game experience already in the second game of that stretch to beat the Indiana Pacers and finish with a triple-double. He scored 21 points, grabbed 14 rebounds, and dished out 14
assists. 21, 14, and 14. 3 steals, 2 blocks, all on 1 turnover. Assist ratio to turnovers, 14 to freaking 1. Damn.
Also having 3 steals, 2 blocks, and only 1 turnover.
Keep in mind, everybody, the only reason that this didn't last was because the Bulls still weren't scoring enough. Like they just weren't good enough, you know. So it is what it is. Oh, but MJ definitely did his job, man. I would like to see a different universe where he was a point guard, because holy shit, he was about to redefine the whole position.
His next game in the stretch was against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who finished the season with a 57-25 record, which was second in the East.
Yeah, they were.
MJ and the Bulls lost that game, and MJ had 8 turnovers as well. But his stats for the game included 28 points and 12 assists.
Ouch, rough game.
Third consecutive double-digit assist total. The next game was a win against the third team in the East, the New York Knicks. MJ scored 33 points and had 9 assists that game as well for 4 steals. Those weren't the defensive Knicks of the 90s, but they were a good team. The 5th game out of the 24 remained as point guard was against the Indiana Pacers again. The Bulls lost the game with MJ finishing with another double-figure assist total. He scored 28 points and dished out 10 assists. The next game was one.
So he quickly realized he needed to up his scoring after those first couple of games.
One of the most important ones, as MJ went against the Los Angeles Lakers and Magic Johnson. It was the 6th game of that stretch. MJ and the Bulls defeated the Los Angeles Lakers, who had a great team that year. The score was close, 104-103 for the Bulls. MJ beat Magic in points, he beat him in assists, and tied him in rebounds.
Damn.
Jordan beat the assist machine at his own game.
Yeah.
The stats for both were Magic 20 points, MJ 21. Magic had 12 assists, MJ had 16.
16 assists,
They both finished with 8 rebounds.
Yeah. When they met up in the NBA Finals, in the 91 Finals, that was also Michael Jordan beating Magic at his own game. Guy was sick.
Knowing Michael, that was a statement game for him, for sure.
For sure.
The next game was against the Phoenix Suns, who were a very good team as well that season. Bulls again won by 1 point with a score of 112 to 111.
Nice.
MJ's stats were as follows: 32 points, 9 assists, and 10 rebounds. The next game against
That's like modern Luka numbers, but in a harder era.
the Blazers, MJ scored 34 points, had 17 assists,
God
and
damn.
7 rebounds, as well as 6
steals.
Amazing.
17, the 34 points, it's Michael Jordan, whatever. 17 assists and 6 steals? God damn, MJ.
This is it. This is the big one. The 9th game of that 24-game stretch, which started the 10 triple-doubles in 11 games. In that stretch of 11 games, starting now, MJ averaged 33.6 points, 11.4 rebounds, and 10.6 assists, 2.9 steals, and 51% from the field.
That's disgusting.
Insane. The first game of that stretch was against the
disgusting.
Seattle Supersonics, the team that MJ started this whole experiment against on March 11th. This time the Bulls also won, and MJ recorded his first triple-double out of that 11-game stretch. He finished with 21 points, 12 assists, and 12 rebounds in 40 minutes. The next one was against the Golden State Warriors. MJ was against spectacular, and even though he had an offensively limited squad, he was able to record another 11 assists with 12 rebounds and 33 points while beating the Warriors 115 to 106. The next game, against the Milwaukee Bucks, MJ got another triple-double with 32 points,
point triple-double,
10 assists, and 10 rebounds. Another game, the Cleveland Cavaliers were too much for MJ and his Bulls.
God damn.
But even though the Bulls lost, MJ recorded another triple-double.
Talk about production, man.
With 37 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. The game against the New Jersey Nets, the Bulls were able to win and improve on the season. Michael Jordan recorded here another triple-double with 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 12 assists. Next were the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets came into the game with a record of 17 wins and 55 losses, and had a really bad team that year. But nonetheless, MJ had another triple-double and won.
33.
The stats for that game were as follows: 33 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. That is 6 consecutive triple-doubles at point guard.
That's disgusting.
Most games also scoring over 30 points. The next game was against the Detroit Pistons. Another big one. The Pistons were a nemesis that MJ was never able to beat as far and not able to get past, but still managed to have an amazing game. Even though the Bulls lost this one, 108 to 115.
31 point. Hey, anybody watching? Do you guys remember this stretch? Like, actually remember this time period? And especially if you were in Illinois at the time, do you remember the media covering this as far as like him being a triple-double machine during this time? Were they making as big of a deal out of triple-doubles as we do now back then? I'd love to know. Thank you. So that's another 31, 10, and 13 performance. God damn.
MJ finished with 31 points, 10 assists, and 13 rebounds while playing 43 minutes.
Against
that
the
is
Pistons.
7 straight triple-doubles now. With
7
5 of them
straight triple-doubles. 7 straight triple-doubles. At point guard.
including 30 points as well. Next duel was against the Detroit Pistons again, and MJ must have really wanted to win this one. Although he was able to get 11 assists in this game, he recorded only 7 rebounds, which was 3 short of a triple-double. He did score 40 points and got 2 steals and shot a whopping 61% in that game.
Dude, shooting 61% over Joe Dumars is unfathomable.
Against a stifling Piston defense. Against the Atlanta Hawks, the next game, MJ scored another 40 points and had a triple-double as well while dueling with Dominique Wilkins. Those 40 points were accompanied by 12 assists and 10 rebounds. Against Indiana in the next contest, MJ was literally Superman.
So that was a 40-point triple-double.
He scored 47 points on 57% shooting, had 13 assists, 11 rebounds, and 4 steals.
4 steals on a 47-point triple-double. He's getting better. Could you imagine if he had a couple of years at the position? What a monster he would have become.
Next, against the Nets, in a loss, MJ another triple-double, the 10th one in the 11 games as we know it. The stats for that game were 29 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. I think the only reason it stopped at the Nets game is because Doc Collins, his coach, started playing MJ only 27 minutes a game from 40 minutes per game for that simple reason he wanted him rested for the NBA playoffs. A few games, he still played high 30s as well. Just imagine what could have been if he continued with his regular playing time. In those few final season games, with limited minutes, MJ had 3 assists against the Cavs, 9 assists against the Knicks, just missing another triple-double versus Washington. Another triple-double, though, came against the Bullets with 34 points, 11 assists, and 14 rebounds. MJ had 3 assists in the last season game against the Cavs with 25 points. As we can see with everyone else, MJ had an amazing mind for the game of basketball. Whatever he put his mind to, it was better than everyone else within a few games.
Yeah.
MJ had those crazy triple-doubles, with many of them including over 30 points, and even including a 40 and a 47-point game as well. With a very offensively limited team, his starting roster for that season included Horace Grant with a 12-point per game average, Bill Cartwright with a 12.4 per game average, John Paxson with a 7.3 per game average, and Scottie Pippen with a 14.4 per game average. To have those kinds of stats and get 10 triple-doubles out of 11 games is an amazing feat.
I know, with those guys on the other end, it really is. It's crazy.
If you like this kind of video, I did mention the Detroit Pistons being a nemesis of Michael Jordan. At the end here, you will see a video of the old school bad boys and their comments today about Michael Jordan, who finished their reign.
Man, I'm already subscribed. Okay, good. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, you could see these numbers and then forget about it and then not believe it anymore and think that you're exaggerating. But then, but just with fresh eyes, seeing every single game and seeing those stats, seeing that run, I mean, I'm blown away by MJ all over again here. Like, I didn't think I could be any more impressed by the guy, but seeing all the games that they normally don't talk about outside of that triple-double run is disgusting, because it's cool to see the progress of him figuring out the position. So I stand by it. I've always stood by it when people call him a ball hog. I would always say, well, yeah, who's he going to pass to? But if you surrounded him with shooters, he wouldn't have taken nearly as many shots. It's just the way it is. Michael Jordan was willing to do whatever it took to win. And that changed over time. So the second three-peat, he was predominantly a post player. That's what they needed during that time. And earlier on, they were running a different kind of offense. It was not the Phil Jackson triangle yet, because he hadn't become coach yet. So what that team needed was isolation. MJ on the ISO. That's where you see all the crazy highlights from the first part of his career, where he's just breaking ankles and dunking on everyone's head. That's what the team needed to win some games, enough games to make the playoffs back then. But when it wasn't anymore and he had a little bit of help, he altered his game. But yeah, I will continue to stand by it. MJ was not a selfish player. He was willing to give the ball up. This proves it. And I don't want to hear anything else about it. Like, you can combat me in the comments if you want, but I mean, you're going to get crushed. So I wouldn't recommend it, because the guy did whatever it took to win. And more. You're talking 47 point triple doubles, crap like that. Like, he was going above and beyond to do whatever it took to get his team a victory. And that's why he's my GOAT. Everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Be safe. Leave a comment down below. And like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And if you do, I'll see you in the morning with the next video. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.